Hey everyone, Steve here from My Crypto World. Today we've got a lot to get through, so let's get started. Okay everyone, we're going to have a really quick look at the heat map. As we can tell, it's a pretty bad day on the markets across the board. Not just for cryptocurrency, but for the S&P 500 and all other sorts of markets around the globe, as reactions have happened to really what the Fed Reserve has said in America, which we'll go through to in a moment. And then looking at the current market cap, just to see where everything is at, and you can see it again. It's just confirming that pretty much everything's in the red today. Chainlink's up 19%. Most of the stable coins are stable. Cosmos is also up 34%. But other than that, we've got some real movers in the market at the moment going south. So why has all this happened? Well, let's first of all bring up our trusty cycle chart. Now, in my last video, I did allude to the fact that although the cycle hadn't quite finished when I did my video last week, I did say that it is, although I didn't expect it to happen, it was possible that it may come back. Actually, let's just get rid of that cycle there so I can read this through to you. I did say, I think we made the video around about here, just less than 7 days ago. And I did say there was a probability that the market may come back and test its bottom, its recent bottom, but it probably wouldn't hit this major support and resistance line here. But if it did, it's okay, because there were so many coins in the marketplace showing strong stability at support levels. So what we've found out today, obviously, is that the market did in fact come back and test its low. What's interesting though is if we blow this up here, I always talk about in my videos how it's okay for a low to be tested, but probably what we don't want to see is we don't want to see a close below the recent low. At the moment, we're sitting above the low, so we really don't want to see in the next couple of hours. We've got about 17 hours until this market day is finished. We don't want to see that close below that within 17 hours. If we do, it doesn't mean it's all doom and gloom. It just means that the next support line for that will be at the $1.8 trillion mark. At the moment, we're sitting at about $1.96 trillion. So if we take that the cycle started here on the 4th of December, it has been an extended cycle. It is now finishing, I will say, here today on the 7th of January, 7th of January Australian time. That's 6th of January elsewhere in the world. So what we'll do is we'll take our 31-day cycle from today as it is there. So that's what's happening in the marketplace. We can put our cycle back into position now where we know where things are at. And so we can confirm now that the market, although I didn't expect it, it was probable and it has actually tested its low. Now this is again reiterating what I said last week. This is a good time for people to get into the market, or a good time for buying opportunities or dollar cost averaging. You've got the ability now to buy coin that is sometimes, up to 10, 20, 30% cheaper than what it was a couple of months ago. So this is a really good way and a really good time to rebalance your portfolio before the market does in fact take off, which I do think it will do that. There are too many signs in the market at the moment showing more stability than there is short-term loss. And so let's go through some of that now. Let's have a look at some articles and what spooked the market. So here we are on Cointelegraph. You can see here the news article reads, Ethereum plunges 13% down more than Bitcoin after the Fed spooks the crypto market. Now, what does that mean? Well, basically what happened was the Federal Reserve, somebody had leaked some documents stating that the Fed Reserve felt that interest rates should really start going upwards. We haven't had an interest rate rise now for several years, mainly due to COVID, obviously. But that they want to see that perhaps it would be better if we started to increase them. Now, what's happened from that? That was released 2 hours before the market plummeted. So I would say that's probably highly likely that has spooked a number of people. In the market, we call that a knee-jerk reaction. It's just an immediate kick to some news that isn't really wanted. especially for those people who are investing in property and have loans out. They obviously don't want to see any interest rate rise at all. For those that are mortgaged up to the hilt and have not been used to higher rates than what they've seen over the last 2 to 3 years, that's also a very scary scenario for them as well, because they've got to try and make up the extra capital should their interest rates and repayments go up on their mortgage. So this article really just goes into a little bit about that. It just explains what they think has happened. We can see here that Ether's drop. Top rival Solana also logged more losses than Bitcoin, dipping by more than 13.75% after the Fed's news. Nonetheless, its 12-month profits came out to be more than 7,500%, sealing further extreme corrections if the crypto market's bias remains skewed towards the bears. So, in a sense, but the article's simply saying that although that there's a short-term knee-jerk reaction and we've seen the market dip, it's nothing in comparison to the growth we've had over the last 12 or 18 months. It's been quite bullish indeed. It does talk about that we are now at a key resistance level, and as it reaches that, it's likely of a rebound. So that's not too bad. Although, again, as I always say, if you're a short-term trader, this could be hurting you a lot now, and you've really got to determine what you want to do with your funds. Can you continue to hold, which is what my personal investment opinion would be, and that's what I'll be doing through this. For those that can, dollar cost averaging is really important. It gives you the ability to buy in at lower prices than what you may have previously gotten into. And your other option, unfortunately, is to sell if you are leveraged on any of your assets and you can no longer afford that leverageability. Everyone is different, though. So let's just go to some other quick news here. So Charles Hoskins, who is the founder of Cardano, one of my favorites, has recently come out and said that Cardano founder Charles Hoskins has projected that due to a poor level of engineering, most decentralized finance projects or DeFi projects will be extinct in the next 5 to 10 years. And it goes on to say, unfortunately, many of the projects in this space will not stand the test of time. We will see great extinction occur in the next 5 to 10 years. The reason you do things right is so that you can be around for that extinction event. Many of you are tired of the incredible cost, lack of clarity, and the low production quality of applications in the DeFi space. So this is really, really good news, because if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I do a lot of research into what projects I feel will stand the test of time. And I've mentioned before, out in the marketplace, there are so many projects and coins and cryptocurrencies being listed on exchanges with, you know, barely a business model put together. And when you go and do some research and you have a look at the structure of the company, what their project goals are, what's backing them, sometimes it just doesn't add up. So what will happen is you'll have strong players like Cardano, like Theta, like Zilliqa coming out over the next 5 to 10 years and really being market leaders in their space, because they've got the management in place, they've got the focus in place, they know what their project's capability is, and they know where they want to scale up to and how they want to do it. And I think also more importantly is they touch base all the time with their consumers, with the investors, with the people who are trading or investing on in the coins that the coins are representing the projects. So when you've got true transparency around that, you get a sense of calmness about what that project might be doing, even though sometimes these great projects get delayed from time to time with some of the rollouts that they want to do. They're honest about it, they're open about it, they talk about it, and they say this is why we might have a delay on this project and this is the reason for it. So people like Charles Hoskins, people at the Theta Labs, they're all very much about keeping the communication open and explaining to people on a weekly basis where things are at. So I think this is a good thing, because it's going to squash those people who are in the DeFi projects that aren't going to do that well into a space, you know, a more grounded space, and it'll force people like that into more secure projects like Cardano. So that's a good news article as far as I'm concerned. Just recently as well, Samsung has announced that they are entering the metaverse through Decentraland, which is Mana. Again, Mana is one of the tokens that we have invested in or it's on my portfolio watch list, which means if you've been following the channel for a while, you would know that I hold Mana as part of my portfolio total holdings. Samsung in Electronics America is set to enter the metaverse through a new collaboration with Ethereum-based platform Decentraland, or Mana. The company is set to open a virtual version of its flagship 837 physical store in the digital world. So that's really interesting. Now, there's also talk about Samsung actually offering the metaverse on all its new televisions that will be being built in the near future, and obviously that will go out to individuals' homes and offices and bars and all that sort of stuff. So you'll actually be able to enter the metaverse in the comfort of your lounge chair rather than doing it from an office like where I am at the moment. So that's really interesting news. Also in the news today is Veracity is set to take on a video technology market. Now, Veracity we've also as a hold in our portfolio based on my investment opinion only. Which is so this is really good news. The potential for growth for the firm is significant as they partner with a company with more than 3,000 customers in over 70 countries worldwide. So that's good news for Veracity holders. Again, it's just an example of a company who have got their head screwed on properly. They know what their goals are, they know what they're trying to achieve, and they're going out there and they're achieving that. So that's quite good. And when you think about, it also goes on to state that when you think about video distribution worldwide, most companies, TV channels and corporate video platforms use Brightcove. Now these 3,000 plus broadcasters and video publishers can also use Veracity if they choose. And Veracity, this is a major step for them. I have no doubt they'll have more and more collaborations come on board as this project takes off. Our next major step, the article goes on to say, is to integrate our core Veracity models, which is rewards, proof of view, and the rest of our ad stack into the Brightcove native player. Now, probably about a year ago, I did speak about how important proof of view is. For those that are new to this channel, I'll just explain this briefly. Proof of view is a concept that when you're learning remotely, as probably most people have done over the last 12 to 18 months due to COVID, most universities have gone to online courses. So they're structuring their programs in a way where students can sit at the comfort of their home, sit down and watch a video or a description about a topic that they're studying. Now, one of the biggest downsides to this is that universities actually don't know whether the students have watched the video or not. Students get to the end of the year, they go to their exams, they fail, and then the students complain that they didn't get the teaching that they were signed up to get. And the universities, and unis is just one example. It's probably the most important one though. Unis have no chance of knowing whether the student did in fact watch the videos. So proof of view, what they do is they actually put segments into the videos and get the students to do things live while that video is playing. And this can be streamed across hundreds and thousands of different students all at once. And if certain parameters and things aren't met through that video, then the university has a high degree of knowledge thinking that, you know, maybe this student actually didn't watch the lecture at all and is slacking off somewhere, when in fact, because it's very easy for a student to hit play on the button, it shows on the university's end that the student is logged on and watching it, but nobody's there to see if the student's actually in their chair. They could walk off, go and have a shower, go and do some shopping, whatever it might be, come back 2 hours later and the video on that subject is still playing. Well, with proof of view, they can't do that because they actually will have tasks to do. It's built into the video system. Throughout that, they'll have to click mouse buttons and click on a certain position in the screen and all sorts of different things to prove that they're actually still there and watching the video. So it's really, really good. Very new kind of technology, but I think it's an absolute winner. And I think virtual education is going to be a big player in the future, and Veracity obviously are on top of that with their technology there. Now, finally, we're going to end up with, I know I talk about it all the time because it's my favorite token, but Theta. I've spoken about the Theta drops in the past and how they've worked. For those that are interested, I get messaging, I keep getting messages from some people wanting to know how they can participate in the next Theta drop. I've spoken about it in the past. You simply need to add your Tfuel and exchange it, put it from your current wallet onto a Theta onto a Theta wallet, and then you stake that against, or you don't have to stake it, you can just leave it in your Theta wallet, and then you assign that over to Theta drop. What will happen then is you'll be able to access NFTs as they launch onto the market. The reason I brought this up now is in 14 hours, 10 minutes and 19 seconds, the Passaways NFTs will be dropping on the Theta network. I've already signed up for it, so I'm already pre-funded, and I've got my Tfuel, which I'm earning for free by staking my Tfuel and running a edge node. So that's already set to go, and it will launch at some stage, 14 hours from now. I'll be fast asleep. The times that that usually launches is US times, not Australian. So when America is awake, unfortunately, Australia is sound asleep. But I'll know I'll get up in the morning, and hopefully I've been successful with that. There'll also be another one later on. I think it's the 14th of Jan, so about 7 days from now, there'll be another drop of the Passaways NFTs. So that's all the news there is for today. As I said, don't panic if you're worried about what the market looks like and where it's going. It is perfectly okay. I'm trying to bring my chart back up. This is really good. And remember, if you have a look at my video I did last week, we spoke about a lot of coins, a stack of coins, not only the ones that we're looking in our portfolio, but also others in the marketplace that are moving really nicely along a nice support and resistance line. So I don't feel that there's any major concern there. That's not a good example of one. There's no support or resistance there. Link, as we know, is up. So that's probably not a good example either. You can see here IOTA is moving nicely where the red line is at the moment. It tends to be a period or a position in the market where it finds a lot of support. It did find resistance at one stage when it was below that. It is now above it, and it's sort of bouncing along nicely. Just go and have a look at some yourself. VRA, again, beautifully sitting on their current support line. It hasn't closed below it, which is at this point here. What's the low there anyway? 2.5 cents. So we're currently sitting at close to it, 2.7 cents, but as yet hasn't closed below that, and I don't feel that the market will close below it. Theta, again, sitting right above its resistance level, looks like it's poised to jump and go. As I said last time, I suspect that we're about one whole cycle away, or one quarter away, I should say, from seeing the market skyrocket. That's my personal opinion. There's just too many signs in the marketplace that we're in for quite a nice run. I don't know whether we'll have the run that we've seen in the past in 2017 and certainly in 2020, early 2020, but I think it might be a more stable growth moving forward. Anyway, that's it for the video this week. Please like and subscribe. It does help YouTube understand that my content is valid, and it helps other people find this information. Take care of yourself and each other, and we'll speak at the next video. Cheers.